What's up, YouTube? So here's what I got going on today. This is actually my old house that we have for sale, and wouldn't you know it, in the middle of a long cold snap, the breaker for the furnace trips, and we had some pipes freeze upstairs. So at this solder joint here, and then of course 2 inches up behind this wall at a 90, those joints failed. And the reason they failed is whoever did this pipe was lazy. They didn't solder it properly. It was only soldered, say, like a 1/4 of an inch. And then back behind here on the hot water side, a piece of CPVC shattered. But this was the big one. This pipe goes all the way into the basement, and that's the cold water side. And it was just a, a 1/2 inch open to the world. Fortunately, we caught it in time, so we had the water. We shut the water off, got the furnace back going, and then after it warmed up, turned it back on slowly, and we found the 2 leaks. But we still had to tear this floor all up. And then to fix the 90, it was easier just to pop a hole in the wall. So that's what I'm here today doing, is I'm gonna patch the floor up again. I've actually already had this floor open in the past. You can see this piece of, there's actually 2 pieces of plywood, and I had to fix the drain for the shower because it's all old lead pipe. We had to cut a section out and put a piece of PVC in instead. Had I known that these solder joints were that crappy, I wish I would have known, because I could have fixed it then and only had to tear the floor up once. But how are you supposed to know that? Here's some of the original wiring to the house from when it was built in the early 1900s. I want to say it was built in 1907. So there's the original subfloor. You can see that. And then they put another layer of wood on top of that. So we're going to patch this hole first. Of course, this is all 100-year-old horsehair plaster. So I have to take and square this hole off. And then I'm going to use that guy. Be interesting to see how it works. I got some more joint compound and a larger patch. I don't think that patch is going to be big enough to cut it. What I think I want to try and do is use just a handsaw, cut this more square, and then use a piece of wood and back this, and use little tiny drywall screws just to hold a piece of wood here, so just not this air gap. And then I'll putty all this in, and then I'll apply the patch and putty over that, and hopefully sand it smooth. And then take this piece of paint and go color match it and repaint over this, even though this is the ugliest color I've ever seen in my life. But we bought the house as a first home, and then my stepdad died, leaving my mom a widow 2,000 miles away in Arizona. So we needed a bigger place and some land for the animals. So we bought another place and had renters in here, and they didn't work out. And then, wouldn't you know it, the day before we're supposed to have someone come look at the house, the pipes freeze. They're still interested. They want to come by when this is fixed to take a look at it, because he still might buy it. I hope they do. This house, it was our first home. It does have sentimental value to me, and I hate to see it sit empty on top of paying a mortgage payment for no good reason. So we're going to try and get this patched up for them. We'll paint the wall the same color, just because we didn't have time to repaint it. They'll have to deal with this ugliness. This is the worst color I've ever seen inside a house in my life. Here's another hole here. I got to sand that down and get that repainted. So we'll start here. We'll try this patch kit, and once I get this going, I'll have them the camera with me. I don't really have a tripod anyway to set up to take good video, but every once in a while I'll pause and take some highlights of where I'm at, and we'll see how well these little patch kits work. So made a little progress here. Basically what I'm doing is using these making little ears here to reinforce the floor where the holes cut out. So we got a 2x6 here, and I use pocket holes to go into this cross beam here. And then another 2x4 here, and then another 2x4 here. This is a 2x6, and I'll use a couple pocket hole screws to attach it. And this part needs to be strong here. This part not so much, because no one's ever going to walk here just to sink, but we'll do it just to close the floor up. So we got this done. I also went ahead and put a piece of 1x focus, there you go, piece of 1x here, and then I've just been slowly building this up till it's flush, and I'll sand it flush, and then I'll use the patch, and that way, this is a high traffic area, and when the new owners, when they move in, like the first time they bump that, they're just not going to go blow right through the wall. And it'll also help protect because right here is all the plumbing for the sink. It'll help protect that so nothing can come through and take out the plumbing, create one heck of a mess. So that's where we're at so far. Had a young couple come by and look at the house. They seem to be interested in it, so that's good news, and I guess I'll have to make sure I get this done today.